Donald Trump is known for shaking things up. From his unorthodox campaign strategies to his bold policy decisions, Trump has always been a figure who defies expectations. His approach to governance was marked by a series of unconventional moves that often left both his supporters and critics in a state of surprise. His presidency was anything but conventional. Whether it was his direct communication style on social media or his unpredictable foreign policy maneuvers, Trump consistently broke the mold of traditional presidential behavior. His tenure was characterized by a willingness to challenge the status quo and make decisions that were often seen as controversial. But even for Trump, the potential appointment of Pete Hegseth as Secretary of Defense has raised eyebrows. Hegseth, a former Army National Guard officer and a prominent conservative commentator, is a familiar face on Fox News. His close alignment with Trump's views and his outspoken nature have made him a polarizing figure in political circles. Adam Kinzinger, a Republican congressman and frequent Trump critic, didn't mince words. Kinzinger, known for his willingness to speak out against his own party when he feels it's necessary, has been vocal about his concerns regarding Hegseth's potential appointment. He called the potential pick weird, a sentiment that has been echoed by others who question Hegseth's qualifications for such a critical role. He called the potential pick weird. Kinzinger's reaction highlights the broader unease within certain segments of the political landscape. The idea of placing someone with Hegseth's background and media presence in charge of the Pentagon has sparked a significant amount of debate and concern. Why such a strong reaction? The Pentagon is one of the most critical institutions in the United States, responsible for the nation's defense and military operations. The role of Secretary of Defense requires a deep understanding of military strategy, international relations, and the complexities of defense policy. Critics argue that Hegseth's experience, while notable, may not be sufficient for such a demanding position. Hegseth, a former Army National Guard officer and conservative commentator, is a familiar face on Fox News. His military service and media career have given him a platform to voice his strong opinions on national security and defense issues. However, his lack of experience in high-level defense administration is a point of contention for many. He's known for his staunch support of Trump and his often controversial views. Hegseth's outspoken nature and his alignment with Trump's policies have made him a favorite among certain conservative circles. Yet, this same outspokenness and his sometimes divisive rhetoric have also made him a target for criticism. But is he qualified to lead the Pentagon? This question lies at the heart of the controversy. The Secretary of Defense must navigate complex global threats, manage vast military resources, and make decisions that impact national security. The debate over Hegseth's qualifications reflects broader concerns about the direction of U.S. defense policy under Trump's influence. That's the question at the heart of this controversy. As discussions continue, the potential appointment of Pete Hegseth remains a contentious issue, highlighting the ongoing tensions and differing perspectives within American politics. The decision will undoubtedly have far-reaching implications for the future of the Pentagon and U.S. defense strategy. Kinzinger's concerns are shared by many in Washington. He's worried that Hegseth's loyalty to Trump might trump his commitment to national security. In other words, would Hegseth be an independent voice at the Pentagon, or would he simply be doing Trump's bidding? It's a valid question. Trump has shown a willingness to politicize the military, using troops for photo ops, and even suggesting that he might use them to quell domestic unrest. Kinzinger fears that Hegseth, with his close ties to Trump, would only exacerbate this dangerous trend. Hegseth's supporters argue that his military experience makes him qualified for the job. He served in Iraq and Afghanistan as an infantry officer in the National Guard. He's also a veteran of conservative think tanks, where he's written extensively on national security issues. But critics counter that Hegseth's military service, while commendable, doesn't come close to preparing him for the complexities of running the Pentagon. This isn't a job for a weekend warrior. It's a 24/7 high-stakes position that demands deep experience and a nuanced understanding of global affairs. The Secretary of Defense oversees a vast bureaucracy. The Department of Defense has over 2 million employees and a budget of over $700 billion. It's a bigger operation than most Fortune 500 companies. Hegseth, by contrast, has never held elected office. He's never managed a large organization, and his experience in government is limited to a stint at the Department of Veterans Affairs, where he was criticized for his handling of veterans' health care. Section 5. Loyalty over experience, a dangerous gamble? Trump's penchant for appointing loyalists over experts is well documented. He seems to value personal loyalty above all else, even when it comes to positions that demand specialized knowledge and experience. This approach has had disastrous consequences in the past. Trump's first national security advisor, Michael Flynn, was forced to resign after just 22 days on the job due to his ties to Russia. And his second Secretary of Defense, James Mattis, resigned in protest over Trump's decision to withdraw troops from Syria. Section 6. The Pentagon, not a place for on-the-job training. The Department of Defense isn't a place for on-the-job training. This is a realm where every decision can have far-reaching consequences, impacting not just the nation but the entire world. The Pentagon is the nerve center of America's military operations, and it demands leaders who are not only knowledgeable but also experienced. The stakes are simply too high. In this environment, there is no room for error. Every move, every strategy, and every command must be executed with precision and confidence. The lives of countless soldiers and civilians depend on the decisions made within these walls. The Secretary of Defense makes life or death decisions on a daily basis. This role requires a deep understanding of military strategy, international relations, and the complexities of modern warfare. It's not just about making decisions. It's about making the right decisions under immense pressure. They need to be able to hit the ground running, not spend months or years getting up to speed. The learning curve in this position is steep, and there is no time for on-the-job training. The Secretary must be ready to lead from day one, with a clear vision and the ability to execute it effectively. Hegseth's lack of experience would be a major liability in this role. While he may have a background in military service, the responsibilities of the Secretary of Defense are on an entirely different level. This position requires not just experience, but a proven track record of leadership and decision-making in high-stakes situations. He would be learning on the job at a time when the world is facing an unprecedented array of threats, from a resurgent Russia to a rising China. The global landscape is more volatile than ever, with new challenges emerging every day. The Secretary of Defense must be able to navigate this complex environment with skill and expertise, ensuring the safety and security of the nation. Section 7. A GOP divided. Echoes of Trump still resonate. Hegseth's potential appointment has also exposed the deep divisions within the Republican Party. Many Republicans are uncomfortable with Trump's continued grip on the party. They worry that his embrace of extremism and his attacks on democracy are damaging the GOP brand. Kinzinger's outspoken criticism of Hegseth is a sign that these Republicans are no longer willing to stay silent. They're starting to push back against Trump's influence, even if it means risking the wrath of his most ardent supporters. Section 8. The stakes are high. National security hangs in the balance. In today's volatile world, the importance of national security cannot be overstated. The safety of millions of Americans and the stability of global peace hinge on the decisions made by a few key individuals. The Secretary of Defense is one of the most important positions in the U.S. government. This role is not just about managing the military. It involves making critical decisions that affect international relations, defense strategies, and the overall security of the nation. The Secretary must be a person of immense capability, experience, and sound judgment. The person in this role has a profound impact on the safety and security of the nation. They oversee the defense budget, manage military operations, and coordinate with other nations to ensure global security. Their decisions can mean the difference between peace and conflict, between safety and danger for millions of people. A wrong decision at the Pentagon could have catastrophic consequences. Imagine a scenario where a hasty or ill-informed decision leads to a military conflict or a failure to respond adequately to a national threat. The stakes are incredibly high, and the margin for error is virtually non-existent. That's why it's so concerning that Trump is even considering appointing someone like Pete Hegseth to this critical position. Hegseth, while a recognizable figure in certain circles, lacks the extensive experience and nuanced understanding required for the role of Secretary of Defense. His background, though notable in some respects, does not align with the demands of this high-stakes position. Hegseth simply doesn't have the experience or the temperament to be entrusted with such a weighty responsibility. The role demands a leader who can navigate complex international landscapes, make informed decisions under pressure, and maintain the trust and confidence of both military personnel and the public. Hegseth's track record does not inspire such confidence. His appointment would be a grave mistake, one that could put the country at risk. The implications of such a decision extend far beyond the immediate future. They could shape the nation's security landscape for years to come. It is imperative that the person chosen for this role is someone who embodies the highest standards of competence, integrity, and dedication to the nation's security. The safety of the nation and the well-being of its citizens depend on it. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more trending news.